When you add columns to your Power Pivot data model, you can create a relationship or link between those tables if they have a column in common. In this movie, I will show you how to create those relationships using the Create Relationship workbook, which you can find in the Chapter 9 folder of your exercise files archive. This workbook contains two separate tables, both of which I have added to the data model. The first table is sales data, and you can see that it has a number of columns. The one that I'm interested in is month. The reason I'm interested in it, at least for the purposes of this exercise, will be apparent when I show you sheet 2 with the second table, and that has month ID and the associated month name. Month 1 is January, 2 is February, and so on down to number 12, which is December. So even though my original table on sheet 1 only displays months with the number, not the name, I can create a relationship between these two tables so that I have access to the month name in addition to the number. To do that in Power Pivot, I'll click the Power Pivot tab on the ribbon, and then at the left edge of the ribbon, click Manage. Doing so opens my data in Power Pivot, and you can see that I have two tabs in this Power Pivot book. I have Sales Summary and Month Names, and they correspond to the data that I showed you earlier. If I want to define a relationship between those two tables, then I just click Design, and then click Create Relationship. Doing so displays the Create Relationship dialog box, and I can now define the relationship based on the fields that the two tables have in common. In the Sales Summary field, which is the one that has the order data, and that is the top table displayed here, I need to select the month column. So I'll click the top column control, and from the list of fields, click Month. Now I need to identify the related lookup table, and that is Month Names. So I'll click the Related Lookup Table controls down arrow, click Month Names, it's the only option. And now I need to identify the lookup column, and that column is the column that contains exactly the same data as the month column. So if I drag the Create Relationship dialog box down, you can see that the month field contains numbers, not names. That means I need to select the month ID field from the lookup table instead of month name. Now my two columns, month and month ID, share values, and we can use one to look up to the other, and that's what makes for a successful relationship. I'll click Create to define the relationship, and Power Pivot adds it to the data model. After you define a relationship, you can manage or delete it. To do that, again, on the Design tab of the ribbon in Power Pivot, click Manage Relationships, and you see here that you can either create a relationship, which opens the Create Relationship dialog box, or you can edit an existing relationship. To do that, click the relationship you want to work with, click Edit, and you get that relationship inside of the Edit Relationship dialog box, which is familiar. It's just a new name on the interface that you use for other tasks. I'll click Cancel. And if you want to delete the relationship, just click the relationship, click Delete, and if you're sure you want to get rid of it, click OK. If not, click Cancel, which is what I'll do here. When you're done managing the relationships in Power Pivot, click Close to close the dialog box. And that is how you create and manage relationships in Power Pivot for Excel 2013.